instructions on how to work the students through each one of the modules in the training that we're going to have them do for Canvas. I know there's a lot of things in here that are review for many students that have done Canvas in the past. However, we want them to go through as a reminder for each of the steps so that they are well trained to be able to use Canvas effectively. So when they complain and they say, well, we've done this before, we already know what we're doing, then tell them this should be easy, just continue to go through it and make sure they understand each step along the way. So I want you to notice that in your Bible classes, I'm going to put each one of these modules in, and they should all be set up. So that way, all you have to do is direct your students to completing these modules. They're probably not going to show up in the calendar as assignments, although there are a couple of assignments there. And so for those of you that don't normally use modules for this activity, I need you to open up the modules so it's viewable to the students. And if you want to close that back down after we're done with this training, that's fine. But for the purpose of what we need to accomplish here, really need those modules open. So I'm here on this module page, and I have a beginning point that says start here. This has instructions for you as well as instructions for the student. And so you'll want the students to go through these student instructions. And I have each of the modules set up so that they are not able to move on to the next step until they complete all the steps in the first module and so on. There are a total of 9 modules, excluding the first one here for the training video. And so they'll need to work their way through each one of the 9. It's up to you, depending on the amount of time it's taking them to work through these, whether they actually finish the 9th one, because the 9th one is all about the mobile app. And so maybe we make that optional if students are not progressing through it fast enough. I'm just not sure how long it's going to take them to work through all of it. But as it's set up right now, there are 9 learning modules that I'm going to walk them through the basics of what they need to do for Canvas. And so as they start here, there's also a link for extra videos and resources that you can direct them to or they'll be able to see. And so that's what this page looks like. This is one that was created for primarily middle school parents to be able to learn how to use Canvas. But there's a button down here for more topics that will direct them to a Canvas site that gives them all kinds of content and information to help them know how to navigate their course. So that's more just for a little bit of extra in case some of them get stuck or don't know what to do, or there's a topic that's not covered here that students want to know about. When they get into module number 1, notice that it says there's a prerequisite right here that they have to do the Canvas training start here before they're allowed in this one. So no matter how hard they try, they're not going to be able to do any of these activities until they have completed the start here video, until they have walked through each of those steps. And each of these modules are set up in that way. So they need to go in sequential order, activity to activity. Many of these require them only to view. And that's the only thing they have to do. They just have to click on the page, look at it, and then move on to the next. So they'll find that there are some that they could probably skip through pretty quickly, but they will have others that they need to focus in on and learn a little bit more as they go through each of those steps. At the end of each module, there is some sort of activity. Either it's a quiz or there's an assignment that they need to submit. I am not looking for you to add a grade into their Bible gradebook. I don't think that's probably the place for this. This is more of accountability. They can take these quizzes as many times as they want. They can upload the assignments as many times as they need. I want them to learn how to do these tasks. And most of these quizzes are very simple. It's a little bit of accountability to make sure they understand what they've just read and walked through in this module. Once they have completed the task, and on this one, it says that they have to score at least 2. So I want them to get both questions correct. If they don't get both questions correct, then they're going to have to go back and retake the quiz. And once they get both questions correct, then the module number 2 is going to be opened up for them, and they'll be able to access each one of these, since this is the prerequisite completion of module 1 to be able to get into module 2. That pattern will continue through each one of these. And there's a lot of things in here that I think each one of the teachers know how to do. So if a student gets stuck, you should be able to go in there, help them. If not, redirect them back toward the instructions on the page and have them walk through it again and reread through that. In module number 4, this is where they're going to upload some files. And there are some students, especially if they're new, may need some additional help as they are working through this in your Bible class. And so when they go to upload a file, this one's an actual assignment, they have to submit something. And for you as the Bible teacher, it will show up in your SpeedGrader. You can choose to do what you want with that. Again, I would not count that as an actual grade in your Bible class, but you can just choose to ignore that. You can mark it as complete, whatever you want to, but they need to submit a file. So we know that they understand how to do that. And so there are a few other things here where they have to submit a URL, ask them to submit a short video of themselves. This one here is submitting a written homework assignment. So this is probably going to fit most of the math and science classes, but they really want the students to know how to handwrite something, capture it as a PDF, and then upload. And directions are in this particular section, so make sure they pay close attention to that one, and they need to submit that. So that would be one here. When you look at this assignment, I would love for you to follow up and check the SpeedGrader to make sure the kids actually did this one correctly. I'm not going to go through each one of the modules here for you, but if you have questions, reach out to me, let me know. And we want the students ultimately to get to the end of section 9. And once they do, here's the final question that would show you that they have completed. This one's the assignment that is on module number 9, asking what questions they have about using Canvas. And so this would be a great thing for you to be able to put together any questions that come through that were not addressed in the modules and forward those to myself or Ms. Hume or Mr. Greiner, and we can try to address those in future trainings. Thanks.